Hollis Chapman Show, where we celebrate the power of words and the beauty of storytelling. Join us on this journey as we delve into the minds of successful authors and small business owners who have mastered the art of crafting captivating narratives that inspire, educate, and entertain. Prepare to be inspired as we explore the boundless possibilities that come from sharing stories and experiences that shape our lives and ignite our passions. Through heartfelt conversations and insightful discussions, we uncover the wisdom and creativity that fuel these incredible individuals in their pursuit of greatness. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let the magic of storytelling transport you to new worlds and perspectives. Get ready to be inspired, informed, and uplifted as we embark on this storytelling journey together. Stay tuned for an episode filled with wisdom, inspiration, and the power of words. Welcome to the Hollis Chapman Show, where stories come alive. Let's begin this adventure together. Don't miss out on the opportunity to connect with some of the most talented and compelling voices in literature today. Tune in and let the journey begin.
Hey! Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the show. I have a special guest here today. Very excited to have him here. He's very well known. He's on TV a lot. We're talking more little politics than I normally do. I don't like getting too much into the politics or any kind of stuff like that. But this gentleman here is going to kind of educate us a little bit. He's going to teach us some things about what's going on with the tariffs and all that kind of good stuff. And, what's really drive me crazy, not only that tariffs was a big thing, but now because of what our administration has done and the decision what the government did, the Supreme Court did, we got to give money back. And again, that's a whole crazy thing. And with the war going on, I'm so sorry for the lives lost. We're over billions of dollars gone. It's just crazy right now. Really, really crazy. Our special guest today is American entrepreneur, author, and journalist. He's also the founder, executive editor of the Celebrity Cafe, online magazine which publishes celebrity interviews, travel stories, movies, CDs, book reviews, contests, and trivia games. Okay, very talented. On TV, like I mentioned earlier. Without further ado, let's welcome to the show our special guest, Dominick Miserandino. Hello, sir.
Wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much. I said again, this whole stuff going on with the government and going crazy, you must be getting so much material for your next interview, for your next TV appearances, because
Oh yeah,
a lot
I'm
of things are going
thinking
on.
about this at least. I would say twice a week. Yeah, let me move the
Yeah,
mic away from the speaker.
yeah,
It'll be better. Um, it's pretty constant because people don't necessarily understand all the pieces that are moving here.
yeah.
We founded RTM Nexus, Retail Tech Media Nexus. That's the one of the current publications I have, and we try to educate people on this world. It's a whole different world than we've all grown up with.
No doubt. It's a different world. I love the United States. I love it. I've been in a lot of places since I was in the Navy, stuff like that. I really do. But it's very, very upsetting to see what's going on and see how other countries see us now at this point. It's like, oh man, we don't act like this, but we're here. This is what we're going through. So tell us a little bit more about yourself. I've mentioned some things about your ownerships here. Just tell us a little bit more about yourself before I ask the next question.
Yeah, absolutely. I founded the Celebrity Cafe, stayed in the media space. I ran Inquisitor.com, and more recently started this RTM Nexus, where a community of retailers, brands, where we're all trying to educate and help raise each other up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. My first question is, can you share with us your insights on how tariffs have impacted pricing strategies for retailers, particularly in the digital age?
I love it because I think, first of all, you have to consider that when we think of tariffs, it is not simply isolated to the tariffs you and I are hit
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
For a good example, I was reading an article about peaches that were being picked in South America, packaged in Asia, shipped over here. That's the world we're in.
Mm.
We're in a constant moving world. So you can tariff one country, but you're kind of getting hit by a few others in the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
It's an interwoven economy, and that tariff essentially is money that the importer pays to the government once it comes in the door.
Now, do you think, and again, I don't want to get too deep into the politics stuff, but in your opinion, your expert opinion, do you think at first it was a decent move to do with the tariffs? Because when you look at some of the numbers, and again, you don't know how these numbers are stretched a little bit. We're paying more to these people than what they're paying to us. So it's like, okay, all right, maybe it's a good thing we can kind of balance the field a little bit. Has it gone beyond that where it's balancing the field, or is this a point where it's our ego driving this thing?
Well, I guess there's two parts to this. The purpose of a tariff is to, generally speaking, raise the cost of goods coming in that you want to make here. That's the goal. I want to make more of this, this, and this here. Absolutely brilliant when it comes to uh, domestic industries. Maybe you want to add a tariff on missiles. You don't want to be reliant on countries outside of us doing missiles. In this case, we're tariffing things that you can't really recreate elsewhere is the challenge.
Yeah.
Coffee is a great example.
Yeah.
We're tariffing coffee, and I'm not sure if necessarily tariffing coffee is going to necessarily move the needle too much.
Right. You talk about coffee, you talk about certain things with tariffs. Yeah, it'd be great to move it in country, but by the time these warehouses are built, he's out of the office and stuff like that, and maybe too little, too late. By the time we can start building things in our country, right?
Well, first, too little, too late. But secondly, it's a question at times of purely possibilities.
Yeah.
Certain factories will take quite literally years to put in our country.
Yeah.
But second, it's a complete mix in terms of all these things being interconnected. So there are one factory, for example, in I think Georgia, but don't quote me on that. And the workers from South Korea were having issues, or the supplies from other places. It is very much an intertwined system. One of which you're getting it from 50 different places. It's almost like if you have a barbecue at home and you have 20 cousins bringing over food.
Right.
It takes a few minutes to wonder why, who's bringing what, when, and where.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the whole thing with the tariffs. Again, I'm not going to go too hard on it, but you are a seasoned CEO in digital media. How do you navigate the complexities of managing profits, margins, and solving trade policies and economic landscapes? Digital media and warehouses and stuff like that. I tell you what, if I was the CEO of Amazon, all the big boys, I really, really would be doing these robotic things. I really be sitting there saying, okay, we're going to go robotics, because one thing, you don't have to pay for no health care. You don't have to pay for sick days. You don't have to pay this, and this. And I know we're kind of fighting it here, where like in Japan, I was there for a few years because I was in the Navy. Boy, they're making that move quickly. They're doing things where it's all robotic. I know Amazon's doing some big things in their warehouses. What do you think being in the digital world and robotics are playing out?
Well, and that's just it. First of all, you're trying to plan out in a circumstance which is very difficult to plan. When we're making decisions by tweet, businesses have to navigate that. They have to understand that. The number two challenge to me is that we are used to a very instant economy.
Yeah.
You go online, you order it, it's done. There's no discussion. And with that expectation, that's where tariffs really hit in, because these are all supply chains. Yeah. While the end user might be used to seeing their product show up in 12 seconds online, that's not actually what brought it there. It takes a little bit of effort. There's weeks of supply chain behind the scenes. And I think those are the parts that people sometimes forget.